All right, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening for the CGL multi-tier tournament quarterfinal matchup between Baiwatch and Kulture eSports. I'll be your host, Swift63. Joining me on the casting desk, our good friends Maza and Optimus. I'll give them a quick second to introduce themselves. Before we get into this, I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. This should be a great matchup. This is kicking off the PlayStation end of the postseason, so exciting to see these two teams go at it. This will be a best-of-5 match. I know there's only 4 maps up on screen right now. We're going to start off with Gibraltar, follow it up in Oasis. We're actually going to see a little bit of Paris action, Hollywood as the 4th map, and then close it out on Ilios. If need be, the tiebreaker of the evening will be Junkertown. So a lot of great Overwatch to play. First map, Gibraltar, a full escort map, so it should be a lot of fun. Before we get into this, I'm going to check in with both captains here in just a second. Optimus, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, man, a little bit about these two teams?
Well, yes, hello, my name is Optimus. It's actually my first time on the main channel. In terms of these teams, we know that Baiwatch, I believe they finished 4th in the standings, and Kulture eSports for 8th, but you can never judge off standings how well teams going to perform, as we've seen in the Overwatch League recently, with obviously a lot more closer matches than expected. And obviously you've mentioned there about the map pool, and obviously we're going to be opening here on Watchpoint Gibraltar, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of compositions the sort of NA side are going to run, because I've only spectated the EU side, including playing in it, so I haven't seen an NA game so far in CGL. So Massa, you have a little bit more experience with the NA side, so what do you expect for compositions to be run on Watchpoint Gibraltar here?
You know what? I do wish this particular map was in the Stage 1 for Overwatch League, because it is, of course, very dive friendly. So I do expect to see some floats, some Winston goats, basically, if you will. Dotes, it's another term for it, of that wordplay. 3-3, if you will. But I do expect to see some Winston, some Diva. I've even seen some odd stuff. I've seen like 3 dive tanks used at one time with the wrecking ball thrown in there. So yeah, I mean, Gibraltar's a pretty fun map. Very high ground friendly, so good for dive. You can still run goats on it though, unfortunately, so.
Well, you can run goats on majority of maps, and if you're just looking back up, obviously at the map pool, all the different maps sort of favour different compositions, you would say. So like Gibraltar is more, as you say, sort of like a dive heavy map. Oasis is like control. You can probably play goats more likely. And you've got Paris, but obviously we've seen a lot more bunker comps coming out.
Oasis, actually, city center, you can get away with some wacky stuff. To be honest with you, King of the Hill in general, you can get away with a lot. We don't have to run goats on King of the Hill, as we saw, like, Houston do against Vancouver the other day, simply because of how it's not a time bank based game mode. And so as such, that's why you see like more wacky stuff out on King of the Hill. So Oasis, dude, I'm stoked for that, to be completely honest with you, man. I remember watching Korean Contenders. I saw 4 DPS, a Moira, and a Mercy for no tanks against goats and end up doing well. So Oasis is going to be lit. Gibraltar's going to be lit. This series should be fun, dude. Let's go.
Yeah, and in terms of obviously, I was just mentioning there about Paris, obviously new addition to Overwatch League. So we've seen a lot more of the bunker. Obviously Baptiste is now enabled for playoffs because he's in COD. Obviously we haven't seen him before in the original season. So do you think that's also going to shape up the competitions? Because I know a lot more people now will be winning Baptiste goats instead of Briggs. So do you expect to see some Baptiste today?
On Paris, I would definitely expect so. I think that it's probably one of his best maps. There's a lot of places that you can throw that and then submit immortality field, the cheat code if you want to, the lamp, the frisbee, whatever you want to call it, and out of line of sight, and you can get a lot of good value from that. So Baptiste is a strong addition. I do like his place in the game. We have to see where it goes. I don't think anybody has really truly mastered him yet though, so we'll see how that goes.
Well, maybe we'll see some, even on this map, potentially Watch Boards, which we're now loading into to kick off the first map of the evening for the American viewers anyway. So obviously Baptiste again potentially could also be run on Watch Gibraltar because there's a lot of high ground, and obviously that's where Baptiste is it's got the advantage over Brigitte in terms of if you want Baptiste goes, is the fact that he can take high ground and sort of stay out of the line of sight, especially if we know goat matchup. So Watch Gibraltar, I expect probably, as you said, floats on both teams here, but Watch Gibraltar is an interesting map because you could run a bunch of different compositions on this if you want. You could even go for a bunker composition potentially, like on top here where the people normally hold, and for first point defense maybe a bunker comp could come out by the defenders here. Let's just see a few seconds. Looks like, well, I'm not going to judge the compositions just yet because they normally change about 10 seconds before, but it looks like we're starting off with dive tanks first. So potentially we're going to see some dive goats or just normal dive. It'd be nice to see some normal dive with
defense is coming out, and that's what we are going to be seeing. A Junkrat player named Sunburn Toast. Okay, you know what? I dig it. I actually dig that quite a lot.
Yeah, so it's
Mercy Moira as well for the support. So we're going to be having that Mercy damage boost the Junkrat quite a bit. Also going to be used to support that dive with Winston Diva. The Moira, I don't like the lack of any sort of defensive ultimate though from the supports. However,
well, maybe they were watching that Korean Contenders and they heard you go Moira Mercy, so they're playing into hands. Just remind everyone, Kulture eSports are the red team. They're on attack and Baiwatch is on defense for any new viewers tuning in. And we're underway. We do have the dive on the attack from Kulture eSports. It's going to be with the Winston Diva and the Farah Sombra. So this is a meta which is becoming a lot more, but the Sombra instantly going to get picked up by Kuzan GD, who's also going to pick up the Farah with the help of the damage boosted Bercy there. Sombra is actually going to take Anna on the Lucy, and that's going to be a little bit of a spot. It's going to be the stop of that first attack here by Kulture eSports. But so it's hold so far. As you mentioned, obviously the Mercy damage boost coming in handy there. The Soldier picking off the Sombra with the Helix rocket, and then the Farah in the end. The Sombra's going to again just random Junkrat spam there. That's normally what happens with Junkrat. Half the time he's not aiming at you. But obviously they do have the.
There are some new Junkrat changes also that just came in regarding this projectile. How many bounces it takes, right? So Junkrat got a bit of a buff for some playstyles recently.
Well, yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Farah buff that came out, where you got more wardage for actually hitting direct rockets rather than splash rockets. Anyway, back to the game here. We have a Sombra that's picked off, ready to maybe do it on the Moira, and the Alex is also down the Mercy, and well, Squatch is going to fall quite quickly, and so Junkrat, Sombra toast on that Junkrat's actually going to fall afterwards, and eventually they will start the actual progress on the point here, Kulture eSports. Obviously, they've built up, well, the only ultimate they've built up so far has been the Barrage. They did use the Valkyrie in that previous fight.
Baiwatch has a lot of ultimates available. They're going to be able to contest this point pretty well. They're using the attack visor. Beautiful tracking.
Oh, the Farah's blown herself up. Potentially go for a barrage. Didn't actually go for it. Anna's actually going to fall. So ready to maybe do it. As both teams just going to be fighting on the point when that primal range is out. Diva Bomb potentially going to come out. Fire is actually coming out on the defense here, but Kulture eSports have lost two healers, and the Baby D actually going to go down to some toast fire. And again, so Baiwatch, they come back with those ultimates as mentioned. They use the attack visor. He's already halfway to another one.
Yeah, I don't know about that tire usage though, man, because the thing is, like, attacking side, we're gonna have the EMP available, they will have the barrage and the bomb too. Having that tire to maybe, like, take out some, or, like, divert the attack, sort of as a diversionary attack, they're not gonna have it in their back pocket right now, so this EMP bomb could be absolutely huge.
But they've also got options to do EP barrage as well, which is a composition which is slowly but surely coming back in the meta, if you're not running a dealer. Be interesting to see what Kulture eSports goes for on their attack. Obviously, if you look at their time bank, they've lost a lot of time. By the time we take attack,
I like how Baiwatch is playing though. We're very spread out right now. I mean, we're sort of enough to, like, know the EMP is coming, so
they use
positioning is quite good. Zoning ultimate, why not?
Squatch went a little bit too far forward and got picked off. Kulture eSports are going to push back in, but there is the EMP bomb, but it doesn't find a single call, but Alex will fall to the Farah afterwards, and Kuzan GB will also fall to the dive of the Winston. Coalescence is going to come up by Red Maybe, but it's not going to really turn the fight around it. Abadiah tried to get back in mech, but Kulture eSports, after a lot of time, with only about 30 seconds left, will finally take the first point here. Watch push point. So far, solid hold though by Baiwatch, who actually they have a few of the ultimates. The barrage actually coming out by Tigray with the Mercy Park. It doesn't actually get a pick, but the Winston will actually fall for going too far forward there in Quadaski. I apologise if I do say any names wrong, I do apologise. Baiwatch are going to take like an early fight here. They know they have a deeper bomb. They also have another tire and a coalescence. There is the primal rage from Squatch.
Tigray has swapped on a Reaper, so this is something a character I did not expect to see.
Another, well, this is a tactical visor coming up from the defense here by Kuzan GB. I don't particularly think it was necessary because they had lost both of the tanks on the attack there, Kulture eSports. Maybe you'll be wishing to have that tactical visor back, but they do have obviously 3 ultimates, and Coalescence is a rapidly charging ultimate. As you mentioned, yeah, Tigray making the interesting switch onto the Reaper from the Farah. Probably getting a little bit frustrated because of how well GB has been doing on the Soldier. Has been shut down the Farah quite consistently, even if he's not been killing him. She's been zoning him out of the game. There is the tire by Sunburnt Toast. She's going to go straight into the D for Mecha D-Meching. Kudaski goes a little too far forward. He did have his primal rage, but died before he could pop it. And Squad's just a little bit picked off there with the Baby Diva. And again, that's another reset now for Kulture eSports. This is going to be really hard for them though to try and push back in because, well, Baiwatch on defense, they have the perfect sight lines to line up with a Soldier, and obviously the Junker who's actually just dropped down, trying to get back to the high ground now with the dive tanks. It's going to be very hard for them to try and get back in. It's obviously there's 4 chokes here to come in on Watch Coach Ballers, so it's to their advantage. They're just going to pick the right one. They do have the EMP. There is a new Reaper teleport. Obviously, Reaper did get a slight change as well in this recent patch, which just came out, but it doesn't make any difference there. There is the primal rage, but TK is going to fall to the coalescence. There is the EMP. The bomb's also going to come out. It's actually going to pick off Squatch on the Winston before he could use primal rage. Risky res coming in by Alex, but he'll actually get it off and will bring back the monkey. Diva Bomb's going to go out. It's not actually going to pick off anyone. Sunbat Toast is going to take out the Winston and the Mercy with the trap, and then also going to get Tire just to round this game off. We're going to pick off I'm Anna, who also used Sound Barrier just before that. Killer Beast has now made the switch on to the Tracer, and then also Tigray has switched onto the Hunter now, a little bit more aerial presence, as Krodowski is actually going to switch to the Reinhardt here from the Winston. So they're going to switch off sort of the dive comp, sorry, pardon my words, dive comp, and just go for a more solid shield with the Reinhardt barrier to shield against some of this Soldier 76 damage, and some, because I'm GB, actually just have the tactical fires as well. But Sunburnt Toast down quickly, went a little bit too aggressive, and Squatch is actually going to fall shortly after as well. So 2 early picks here coming in for Kulture eSports on the attack, and Kulture GM is going to fall to the Storm Arrow of Tigray, but they're going to be fighting in overtime as they go around this corner. Tigray has already built up 2 Dragons though, and on the defense Baiwatch do only have the tactical visor really to try and win this fight, because Sunburnt Toast are probably chill about tire quicker. There is tactical visor by Cousin GB. Ready maybe do it's going to take out Killer Bees. The Tracer in the background squad's going to get demet. There is the Dragons coming up by Tigray. It goes through everybody, doesn't get a single pick, and Hamadi is going to fall. Iron Man is also going to fall, and Baiwatch are going to hold on this defense. There's no one left here for Kulture eSports to touch the point. So, very solid hold there by Baiwatch. Obviously, they do commit almost 2 points in the end, but they looked very solid on defense the entire map there. Is there any thoughts you'd like to take from that original defense there, Massa?
Hami Dare, dude, running the Mercy for so long. I don't know if that was the right answer. I honestly, I think that if you had even stayed with the Mercy, lost the Lucio, and just got a Zenyatta, maybe also that could have helped you out a lot more. Just with that Discord, you know, doing more damage with the Zenyatta, obviously, and like having a single target taking 25% more damage would be a huge benefit. Yeah, I just think that might just be kind of bad support lineup, to be completely honest with you. Probably one of the biggest issues.
Honestly, man. So from my perspective, that Discord orb would have done an incredible job of keeping the soldier off the high ground, right? Kazam GB basically just set up shop on the high ground with Alex in his pocket, and there really wasn't a whole lot going on to contest him. I mean, you saw him charge tactical visor before Tigray got one rocket barrage off. He got 2 visors. So I think they've got to find a way to deal with Kazam GB on the high ground, or they're going to struggle all night long.
Yeah, but they did make, obviously, in contrast to that, they switched off the dive competition on the second point after realising that they were struggling to push through because of the soldier on the high ground. They decided to go for the Reinhardt barrier, so it's a little easier to push in, and it did work, and they won that first fight by having the Reinhardt barrier. But again, it was the case of because GB was literally on the high ground, uncontested, and obviously the Junker was also up there, and Sunbelt Toast, who also seems to be winning the Sombra here on attack.
We're gonna have a bunker with a Baptiste, so Baptiste in playoffs, guys. This is very much an all-in defense it does look like, because if this blows up, this could blow up in your face in a big way.
Well, yeah, and obviously on the attack here, obviously Baiwatch now, your blue team are actually on attack, Kulture eSports on defense. In the red team, they are running a dive competition which can be used against the Bastion, and they do have Sunburnt Host on that Sombra who's going to be looking to build up that AMP. Unfortunately, it's actually going to be an early pick there on GB.
This could be the problem. This could be the problem with Bunker on this map, though, because like it is a payload map, so the objective area location is going to change. So a bunker setup works for defending a specific area, but once the cart gets to a certain position, you have to like reset up shop. You're going to be in a very tough spot.
Well, they've reset up here right in front of this choke on payload, and they got an early DMech there onto a Dyer who went a little bit too far there with on that D.Va, so they're currently Baby D.Va right now trying to get back in mech. But as you are right, they've pushed it under this bridge, which is one of the chokes, because ONGB is also going to fall again to the damage boosted Bastion, who's very close to getting tank form. Right now, he's not fully in that shield. There we go. He's going to reposition himself now before Baiwatch could take advantage of him not being fully in that shield, because all it takes is one shot and then you're out of that. But I think Baiwatch probably going to take this a little slow. They're very close to getting an EMP bomb sort of combo, and I think that's going to be the way that they're going to break his defense. Really, it's going to be with this EMP bomb combo, as Kulture eSports is now repositioned to the high ground, which is actually going to give a lot more push on this payload, really. But it does make them less.
This is a much better location to be at.
Okay, it makes him less diveable here. Sunback Toast is going to go up there and poke a little bit. Is anyone actually going to touch the point? They do need to drop. The D.Va will eventually fall. The immortality field will go down. Sorry, the lamp will go down to keep up. Because ONGB is actually on the high ground right now. Again, uncontested because the Bastion is otherwise occupied. But Squatch goes a little bit too far, but they're going to get the res over him again. They're now back, but everybody is going to fall. The Baby D.Va is going to fall. It's 6v5 but now. Pyromont, there's the EMP. Is there any follow-up? There's no bomb because Aerodite is dead. Ready, maybe do it, brings out the coalescence, the primal wave also come out, the D.Va bomb's going to go out. It's actually going to pick off Squatch. I actually thought he bubbled that, I do apologise. There is the square, or whatever you want to call Baptiste these days. It's just come out just to give him a little bit extra.
Amplification matrix.
There we go, application matrix. There's tactical advice by GB, but there is a shield in his way right now, and D.Va defense matrix, so he's probably going to give him as soon as I say that. He picks the Fire Anna, but he will fall to the Bastion. He's going to pop his tank visor. Tank visor. They do also have bongos. That's a new one. That's a tank visor, yeah, that's a new one. They do also have bongos on defense here, and I think Kulture eSports are going to be able to hold. Yeah, just by the kill feed. Yeah, they are going to be able to hold it. It looks very dubious there because they was able to
one of the monkey. Oh god, I don't know if you really want to do that, Rose.
I mean, they probably looking, and that's another field by Tigray and that Baptiste. Obviously, that ultimate charge was so quickly.
Oh, nice pull. Nice pull onto Squatch, man.
When you're in a bunker composition, that field charges so quickly for a Baptiste. They do have the EMP bomb combo though this time, Baiwatch on attack. They did try that, but unfortunately Everdaya died before they could do it, but they still committed the EMP.
There's a great counter for this right now if you are Tigray. If you can time your invulnerability field, whatever, right before the EMP comes out, that will be able to land.
You can get hacked. You can get hacked out of it. There is the EMP. The bomb's going to come in afterwards. Is that going to be huge? He gets 2. And he can mercy, so no one could be raised back in to this team fight. 4 people down on the defense here for Kulture eSports. Ironman's going to commit the sound barrier to keep him and Killer Beast alive on that diva, but there are only 2 people left for Kulture eSports. And Baiwatch will take the first point.
They're now running 4 tanks with Lucio Brigade. This is...
I imagine squad's probably going to use these bongos here and switch off to enough support, because as you're right, they're playing a quad tank Lucio Brig, which is not enough healing.
Yeah, where's the Moira on this, guys? You can run Moira here, but I was going to say, but just regarding Baptiste really quick, if you time the field right, like during the EMP animation, you can still get field active.
Well, because actually he's got this tactical visor, but the issue for him is there's so many shields in his way that he's not going to get any value from this. There's 2 shields at least, and there's Diva Defense Matrix, and there's a Syria ball, so that tactical visor gets absolutely nothing there for Baiwatch. So because on GB might be thinking of switching off the soldier here. It looks like they are going to stay on this quad tank on the defense here. A bit of an interesting composition that you wouldn't normally see.
This is like a quick play comp, but like if nobody was allowed to play DPS for some reason.
Maybe they have no DPS players. That could also be an issue.
Well, okay, they have a Zen now, so that's good.
Right, they've switched over to Zen. Valor Mercy is going to come out now on the attack for Baiwatch, because on GB is going to switch from the hit scan to the projectile roll, and Sunburnt Toast is going to pick off the Reaper. There is a Diva Bomb. It's going to take out the Valor Mercy.
So much value.
It's going to take out Valor Mercy, and that's the end of that fight. And again, we approach under 60 seconds. The payload does only have to go around this slight bend though for Baiwatch, and they're probably just going to build up their ultimates. They do have a bomb again, they do have the coalescence, they will have Falk, and they will have Primal for this fight. And meanwhile on the defense, they do have Sound Barrier, they're going to have Rally, and they will have Shatter. So it's going to be about 4 for the attackers and 3 for the defenders. And to be fair, Kodaski is very close to getting the ground on Surge.
That bomb will pin down really quickly. The Shatter is so free right now.
Oh, Tigray is actually good. Sorry, Tigray is going to fall to Sunburnt Toast on the Reaper there before he can use it. Adai is actually going to use his mech though. In that meantime, I am going to commit that Sound Barrier to keep the rest of the team alive after the main tanks fell. Killer Beast is going to take out Sunburnt Toast on the Reaper as Everdaya is going to get back in mech. Valkyrie's popped by Alex. There is the bomb. The bomb could be hit, but it's shielded by Tigray. There is well, not coalescence. That is the barrage, but it gets nothing. That's a huge shatter by Tigray. There is the bomb grab. Every ultimate being used here on defense of Kulture eSports to hold it. Looks like they're actually going to win this because Baiwatch needs to touch the point. Sunburnt Toast is building up towards the Death Blossom. There is the Death Blossom. He's so low in HP though, I don't think he's going to get anything. You just pick off the Zen. Mercy's going to fall. He's going to fall to the micro missiles of Killer Beast, and I don't think anyone can touch the Baiwatch. So soon say that Squatch jumps back in quickly, but he doesn't have Primal, so he can't contest for very long. The rally coming out on defense here for Kulture eSports going to give him extra armor and harder for them to kill, and they will hold Kulture eSports probably against the odds, you would say, after their attack round.
Yeah,
hold Watch
100%.
We'll hold Watch Point Gibraltar. And we'll take the first map. Well, how much of a shock would you say that is there?
Dude, it's like they ran the soldier for so long on the attack. Like, yeah, your soldier's great. I feel like, you know, that's great and all, but man, against all those barriers, you're just gonna have a hard time, dude. I mean, look at all that damage, yeah, man. But oh man, that was tough. Lots of really good work on that Baptiste too. I will say, they could honestly have full held that if the Immortality field had been timed a bit better at the end or on the defense. But oh my god, dude, what a crazy defense!
I mean, what a way to start off. The 8th seed takes the lead against the 4th seed. As I said at the start, you can never judge a team by what their rankings are. Always judge them on the maps, because you never know. Maybe they aren't confident on some of these maps. So obviously that is Gibraltar out the way, which is our first map. I believe our second map, if I remember right, is Oasis, if I do remember right correctly.
Yep, that is correct.
my brain is still working at 3 o'clock in the morning. We do have Oasis next, so obviously we go into KOF, and again, KOF is, it's sort of a mad map type. It's sort of one of those ones where it's very sort of snowbally, I was like to discover, because you could go 99-0, but you win one team fight, take control of the point, and then you could hold it for the entire time and win. And judging how close Watch Point Gibraltar was there as well, I expect both of these teams to be quite solid on King of the Hill maps. So it could make this next map of Oasis very interesting. Obviously, we didn't really see that much of a different composition from both. Obviously, Culture eSports did run the quad tank at one point. That was only because they had the bongos, which they didn't even end up using actually in that team fight before they switched to the Zenyatta. So it was a bit weird why they stayed on the Arista for that long. And obviously, Baiwatch, they brought out more drive. So far, we haven't seen goats. Probably going to jinx us now. We're probably going to see it for every single map.
We did see goats actually. We saw it at the end.
Yeah, well, we saw a version of goats at the end. Yeah,
we saw Zen goats, straight Zen goats at the end.
It was straight Zen goats towards the end, yeah, but it wasn't ran from the beginning by both teams.
No.
So it was only really on the defense. I mean, obviously, Culture eSports at that point, they wanted to hold the point, and they was able in that time to build up the ultimates. You've seen them build up the Grav, you've seen them build up the Shatter, which was huge. I just won the play of the game there as well. They built up the ultimates to be able to hold the point, and well, Baiwatch, they didn't have an answer because they, as you mentioned, they sort of switched their composition a little bit too late, and even when they did get the barrage, it just got defense lane fixed. So
yeah, Baiwatch. It's gonna be interesting to see how they go from here. To be completely honest,
obviously this is completely different to a normal game. Leading into playoffs, obviously at this point you'd be like, oh, we're a map down. If we lose one more, we lose the whole series. But obviously this is best of 5. This is the first of 3 maps. So they're not out of this map yet. You know, they're not out of this match yet. Obviously the next one is
it's
the
not
Oasis.
technically first of 3. I mean, you could win 2-0 technically.
Technically, yeah, you could, but it's not like you're fully out of the game after just losing that one. If you lose the Oasis, you're out, and blah, you take the loss, you move on. Unlike it is in normal season, they obviously still have chances to come back, and obviously I think they will be full of confidence because they've done well in the regular season. So, you know, one loss, maybe you could just pull it off. First map, people's warming up, maybe they haven't played all day. So it'd be interesting.
There's also a sub. I believe one of her players is not on right now. Swift, am I saying that right? Or
I believe that's actually for Culture eSports.
Yep,
we're have a sub player.
No, that is actually their captain. So Culture eSports captain is in the lobby. Here in the CGL, you are allowed to have rostered captains for each tier. Captains are allowed to spectate the lobby.
I mean, isn't one player like still downloading an update? And
from one of the
right now?
Yeah, I think I saw him in the Twitch chat a minute ago. Said it was. I mean, this update's absolutely massive, 24 gigs. And you know, if you're play on a hotspot or on low bandwidth, it can take a year and a day to get the download done. So yeah, I think Culture had one of their players was still a couple hours out from finishing the download, so they are playing with a couple of subs in today. So a couple of changes.
I mean that's even better for them because obviously they've brought these subs in probably last minute because obviously the update only came out yesterday. So they've brought these subs in quite last minute, maybe not had that much time to actually practice with them. And now they've come in, they know they're a little bit of an underdog because they're in the rankings. And I've taken the first map there. I've watched Gibraltar. Fair enough, it was a very close map.
Well,
they took that first map of Gibraltar. So
yeah, I was gonna say let's be fair to the subs. I mean, most of these guys. I mean, in the CGL you're required to have at least an 8-man roster, right? So you've got a couple of subs, and I mean the regular season's 9 weeks, right? So it's a long time to play. So I would be very surprised if we've got brand new players coming in here. It just sometimes you have your starters and. They may be playing with a couple of backups or maybe a couple of specialists, right? I know my team, we had our starting 6, but we had like a Hanzo specialist, and we had a guy who could just crush on Doomfist. So, you have these guys you sub in and out. So maybe why we're seeing some of the comps we're seeing.
Well, obviously, as you mentioned in terms of the update, he's not the only one to be struggling. There's actually someone still on my team after like almost 2 days. The update is still saying it's going to take 8 hours.
Has anyone else noticed that in ladder now, it seems like when you go into a game, you're at like the team screen for like an extra 3 seconds or something like that now, ever since the update? Or is that just me?
Yo, low key, man, I haven't had a chance to actually play since the update. I have the PlayStation and the Xbox, so it took me like several hours last night to get both of them updated, and ready to go for today's
apologies.
today's stream, dude. And then I came straight here from work, so I haven't even had a chance to play the new event. I heard it's riveting, to say the least.
Yeah. And there's obviously a few people might know this and might not. Obviously, I assume everyone in chat does play Overwatch, but if not, there's actually a free week going on right now.
Oh, really?
So go and try it. See if you enjoy the game that you actually watch, and see if you enjoy playing it as well, because you never know, it could become your new favourite game. So I believe we're all about ready to go into our second map here. I believe
we are. Yeah,
Oasis.
we're just waiting on the green light from Kulture. Baiwatch has their team in and ready to go. Just waiting for the green light from Kulture, and we can kick this bad boy off. One thing I do want to ask you guys. So Baptiste, he was new. We touched on it a little bit before this thing got going. We got to see him play pretty effectively there on that first point defense. I still haven't quite figured out how he works in comps, but I kind of wanted to get your all's take on that.
Bunker, man, with the Bastion, you saw the chemistry right there. Just, the Bastion stays alive. It's yet another thing they have to focus. The enemy team has to focus down, and it's such a strong ability, man. Like I actually think the cooldown for Immortality Field is it's not enough. It should be a bit more, in my honest opinion, just how much value it could really get.
Well, there's been a few people. Yeah, sorry, let's talk over the Master. There's actually been quite a few people that have mentioned about how the Immortality Field potentially should have been his ultimate instead, because of how powerful it is. But there's obviously the argument to that. The fact is, if you are a constant team, you can focus down the lamp or the disco, whatever you want to call it.
Yes, but you can also put it in areas. You could put it in out of line of sight, and I think there's so many things about it that I just dislike from a consistent standpoint. For example, Diva can't eat it. I don't understand that. Genji can't deflect it. You can't block its line of sight with say a barrier or something like that. So there's very little counterplay to the ability, and I think that's bad. To put it in very simple terms.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to play. Obviously, I mentioned before about quite a few people who've been practicing Baptiste Ghost, and myself personally, I've become the sort of Baptiste for our team right now. Obviously, I'm not a starter, but I'm the guy who sort of specialises in the weird comps. As you mentioned, there's 50 people that with Hunter and Doomfist. I'm the sort of the flex guy who plays all the weird characters. So I've taken on all the new characters that have came out, and I've learned them up to a high standard. So I'm currently playing Baptiste, and there is obviously different ways you can play him, but obviously Baptiste Ghost is what's been the most popular, because obviously we've also seen that ran already in the Overwatch League, where Baptiste has obviously been run instead of Brig, so he can be used in both compositions. So I think he will be a hero that will be used a lot more. And as you mentioned, the Immortality Field, obviously at that level of Overwatch, probably won't survive for that long, but in terms of being winning in tournaments and stuff, it probably will be extremely strong, especially at some of the lower levels who maybe don't fully know how to play around the Immortality Field, because a lot of people just like, oh yeah, we'll just throw our self-destructing deal, get a 4-man. Oh wait, there's an Immortality Field, so it got nobody. So I guess it's kind of a good ultimate. It's kind of a good ability.
It's not an ultimate, though. It's an ability.
It's a good ability because it does. Because how many times have you been EMP bombed and you've lost a team fight and you're just like, oh well, that's uncountable. Unless you have a transcendence, even the sound barrier can go away with EMP. So unless you have a transcendence, you can't really counter an EMP bomb. But you saw there on the defensive watch point Gibraltar, where you have the Baptiste, you have the Immortality Field, so you have another out to protect yourself from that combo.
I mean, the way how you counter EMP bomb is your Lucio highs and your Lucio barriers. As Zen using Trank, unless you can get everybody behind the Zen and a Congo line or something like that. That's, very unlikely.
But anyway, enough to talk about Baptiste. We're not actually going to see in this round, but we are going to see the Zen Goats coming out here for Kulture eSports, and it's going to be Dive Junkrat May by Baiwatch.
Baiwatch.
Baiwatch. Bit of an interesting competition between one on Oasis but they're going to only pick on squad instantly by Ebadiah on that Lucio, who's playing Diva in the last round. So obviously a bit of flexibility going on in that team right now. A very early team fight, and they just walked straight through. I did not expect that composition to roll goats that
Culture
quickly.
says, hey, you know what, guys? Let's just go goats. You know, let's win this game, guys. And then, oh, what's this? You know, a Junkrat May freezer burn. Come on now, dude. And you know, end up getting first possession. Damn.
Well, there's going to be some switches coming instantly by Kulture eSports. They're going to go to a Flower Mercy and they go to Somber. Quadosity is going to pick off the Reinhardt from T-Grey. Again, really interesting how two different people were playing Reinhardt there on that team. But you know what, Ebadiah was playing Diva in the last round, so you know what, people are flexible. Gonna get
Farah's a fantastic pick right now also. As far as I can get all the value, but not if Diva has anything to say about it.
There's not a direct counter to the foul. Obviously, Diva can sort of poke and make him maybe shoot an ice score at her while she's in the air. She's like, oh, huge. Riptide comes out by Sunburnt Toast. That's going to put the end to this team fight. It's actually going to get the Farah, weirdly enough, which comes to the fact that there's no obvious counter. There's a Riptide that can take you out in one shot. The Primal could be used by Squatch as well, just to clear up a little bit of room. He's going to chase down the Reinhardt. And Squad's actually going to get booped off, I believe. There. No,
a lot of people might not know this about me, but for Season 1 on PS4, I had the third most time in the world on Junkrat. I have, I think, like 94 hours on him, whatever, from like one season. And I love me some Junkrat, dude. Some burnt toast. He's just like an all-day breakfast of burnt toast. This guy's just getting massive value on this Junkrat all series so far. It's been really fun to watch.
Well, obviously, well, that's a nice pick. On to Reddit, maybe do it a little far forward there on the May. Coalescence going to come out by Alex. It's actually some but toast again. It's going to pick off I Am Anna. Bomb's going to be thrown in by Kazan GB. Funk actually going to get a DMEC on squad right now. 91% already on the point right now for Baiwatch. So they're just stalling right now. They know that the EMP's there. There is the EMP connected to 4 people. There is the barrage. The sound barrier is also going to be used by I Am Anna to keep T-Grey alive on the Farah. That's a lot of ultimates.
This is fine, dude. Dude, if you're Baiwatch right now, you don't care if they have point possession, bro. Look at everything you have in the bank. You're gonna have Blizzard. You're gonna have Tire. You're gonna have Sound Barrier. You're gonna have Primal. You're in a fantastic spot. You're over the moon.
Yeah, I think you are right. A lot of ultimates obviously being used there, but they had to use them to get the point we did mention before about how King of the Hill sometimes all you need is one fight to get the point. It's normally easier to hold it than it is to re-push, but that obviously depends on the ultimates that you have. They do have the Shatter Bomb combo, which they could potentially use this team fight. It's the only thing that they have. Samurai is going to come out nice and early by Ebadiah. Alex is going to get hacked. There is the Tire and the Mayfreeze being thrown out at the same time, and well, 3 people are down instantly for Kulture eSports. T-Grey though is close to another barrage, just hiding in the skies right now. Killer Bee is going to pop out. There's the barrage by T-Grey, gets some burnt toast but will fall to the Winston of Squat. Alex is going to take out Killer Bee before we can get the EMP off, and then also going to take out the Mercy
nice
there.
wall,
oh, the Shatter is blocked by the May wall. You hate to see it, but fantastic player by Reddit made me do it. And they're going to take the first map here of Oasis. So Baiwatch making the return after that Gibraltar loss. Quite dominant on that first map there of Oasis, you would say, really, wouldn't you? And 99-0, lost all teams like pushed back.
Who says walls don't work, man? What a fantastic wall by the May right there, dude, to close off that one. Stopping that ride from getting in. Really well played.
Looks like potentially early signs that we're going to have some goats. No, we're going to have a normal goats by the Olympic corner again by Kulture eSports, and it looks like for now anyway that Baiwatch are going to stay on the composition that they just ran with the dive tanks with the May Junkrat. At this point, it's more where you would see the May goats potentially being played. So it's interesting how they stayed with the May again without going to the full-on goats composition. Be interested to see if obviously Kulture eSports adapts differently.
Nice.
That's a huge wall again.
Ryan get frozen, but down so hard.
He stays alive just about there. T-Grey actually gets a pin on to Kazan GB there, takes him down to half HP, and he's actually going to get DMEC'd. Despite that May wall, they're actually going to lose the Diva first here. And Kulture eSports, they do have an early advantage in this team fight, obviously with that baby Diva now just being in. They do have point advantage as well. Maybe do it is going to fall to Tigray on that Reinhardt as well. So the May's down, the Baby Diva also going to be picked up by Tigray. It looks like they're going to take first control here, Culture eSports, and they will. But Sunburnt Toast has already built up to a root tire in that space, in that time, and they are very close to Sound Barrier and Primal as well. So both teams have built up a lot of ultimates in that first fight here of this Oasis map.
I wonder, dude, if you have a Zen in place of a Lucio there, if you end up capping that point, if that Rhine dies after getting frozen.
Yeah, Discord Orb, focus down, but you know, they both will have both support ultimates, they will have the tire, and they'll have a primal going into this fight there by Watch. So they'll be feeling confident. Urgent coming in by Squatch, goes over the Mabel, who's by himself though right now, needs to commit the primal. Stay alive. Killer Beast is going to fall as Baby Diva as that Savage just goes down. Not going to find anything with it, and because of the GB, it's going to take out Tigray, who was on the point by himself there as a Reinhardt. Quality's going to fall to Sunburnt Toast. It's also going to get the Mind Kill there on the Vegeta to get it's already halfway to his Junkrat wheel after just use it. He's charging his ultimate so quickly. We know that Junkrat and Farah are two of the most obvious counters that there is to the GOAT's composition. Obviously May has also been included in that a lot. So there's going to be a switch coming in. The Killer Beast is going to switch to Junkrat now from the Sombra, and TK is going to go over to the Farah. So they're going to go double projectile here from the attackers. I forgot that. Culture eSports, there we go. Sorry, I do apologise. Early freeze going to be coming out by Reddit made me do it though. It doesn't look to be picking up anything. It got the Mercy and it got the Reinhardt as well. I didn't actually see the Mercy, and then Ebadiah Reddit made me do it's going to follow up on those kills. Squad and Kodaski is going to fall, and Cousin GB and Squad's just going to clear up the rest of the stragglers. Obviously, they've got to the double spam here. It's probably a good idea because it's not, obviously you mentioned before in the last map that there's no counter, no obvious counter anyway to Tigray on this Pharaoh. So
I just point out that Cosmo GB relatively smart to defense matrix the Junkrat passive with the following nades. Just a smart little thing that you can do for all you Diva players out there.
Oh my! Again, Sunburnt Toast. I think that's just random Junkrat spams picked off the Mercy again. I need to see that's a reset. I think for Culture eSports because GB is going to commit the bomb, and Squatch actually going to hit the prime as well. Probably the ultimates they did not want to commit in this fight. They'll lose Sunburnt Toast to Tigray on that Farah, but they will trade Junkrats. Both Junkrats right now currently have Tire as well, but both supportive ultimates still here for Baiwatch. They didn't actually have to use them to retake the point, so they do have advantage. And Squad right now, you're going to be questioning sort of staying on this area. Only has 35% charge, probably not going to get it this fight. Early coalescence covered by Alex. Both tires coming out. Sound Barrier covered by I Am Anna. I think that's Sunburnt Toast's tire getting no value there. Shatter coming out by Kudoski. Sorry, Sunburnt's tire did get value. It got Squad on that Zari. It was the other tire that blew up on the point, which got nothing. Because then GB is going to get demeched by T Gray's coalescence, and Alex is going to fall to Killer Beast. Is also going to get Sunburnt Toast. We've got another tire, and it's a huge free man. It's going to get Kazan G man. Obviously, he's living up to his
name, bro. Living up to his name. Picks up a 5K. Who is the better Junkrat? Killer Beast says, "Okay, dude, I've had enough of this guy's burnt toast. I'm just gonna go ham." Picks up the 5-piece, bro. Goes absolutely ham. Big stuff.
Sunburnt Toast is actually switched off to the Solid now. Sunburnt Toast has actually switched over to the Sun now. Very interesting switch this. Obviously, Junkrat, as you mentioned, just charged his ultimate very quickly, but he's decided to switch to Sun. But obviously, the EMP is a crucial ultimate. It's a lot harder to actually generate quickly in terms of obviously for Junkrat spam to getting ultimate value. This puts a lot closer than the first one though. You can see 99 again for Baiwatch, but 80%. For
this Blizzard has to be here. Sunburnt Toast gonna fall to the fire though.
Dies. Alt freeze comes out. It's gonna get both of the tanks. It's gonna get booped out.
Does die though.
Because I'm GB picks off Reinhardt's Squatch with the prime was actually gonna get Killer Beast. The carry is down right now. There is the barrage by Tigray. The barrage just gonna come in by Ebadiah to keep them alive through this barrage. Squad's just gonna get frozen on this Diva. He switched over to Diva from the Zarya. Obviously didn't generate the Graviton Surge quick enough. Reinhardt should get beat back off. Then if Kudoski retouch, he can, despite the Mayo and the Tycoon by Killer Beast. Tigray has got an emergency switch to the Doofus here, just a tire just going round point by Killer Beast, not actually going to get any picks whatsoever. As Iron Man is going to fall, the Mercy tried to get back on there in Hamido, but also going to fall because on GB. Playing an excellent Diva, was the Soldier last round. And Baiwatch will take Oasis there. That map was a lot closer than the first map we played there of Oasis. The series is now level for one map apiece. What were your thoughts after that match then, Massa? As we see the play of the game here by Killer Beast, which I see.
Let's just watch this madness first. Let's just watch this craziness. Nice strap as well, man. Just crazy value. Nice 3K here too.
Just tires in front of the entire team and get to 3-man. Sometimes that happens when you play Junkrat.
Wow, somebody put this guy on a terrorism watch list. He's just blowing everything up in sight.
That map was a lot closer than the first one we played of Oasis. What would you say was the key change that made that a lot closer, in your opinion? Was it the comp switch to the Pharaoh Junkrat that did it in the end, or was it just they got a little bit more lucky? Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, there wasn't that much to counter the Farah, to be completely honest. It's really, I mean, okay, there is some, like on that map in particular, because I think they were running the Moira, right? Like, Moira is going to be able to do, like, tickle damage to the Farah quite consistently, and the Diva. So I mean, I'm just contradicting myself here, right? So maybe you don't go with the Farah there, but I think the Junkrat swap was getting a pretty good value, to be completely honest.
Junkrat on both sides there, causing a lot of issues. Obviously, two different players in Sunburnt Host, and obviously Killer Beast switching to play a game. Obviously, we mentioned about the Junkrat change. Maybe it's made it a little bit more viable as well, because obviously we know he had changed, not in this patch, the patch before that, didn't he, where he does more damage with direct hits now as well. So that's why he was able to generate the ultimates so quickly. As you saw him get 2 in one
projectile
fight.
speed, and the fact that now they blow up after, I think that's the first or second bounce, as opposed to having 3 bounces and then they blow up. So yeah, I do think I heard from, was it Prolic Crow was on your Overwatch or something talking about that, and he definitely viewed it as a buff for some Junkrats who aren't adaptable or whatever, or more used to area denial in a certain way. It's a nerf for them, but overall it's definitely a buff.
I think it was a mixture of both of the buffs recently he's got from the 2 passes there, which actually allowed Killer Beast to gen that tire so quickly, because obviously does more damage with directs and less bouncing, so it means actually if they're closer, they don't bounce as much, so they don't bounce away from the targets. In terms of obviously Swift, you from outside point of view there.
All right, everybody, thank you for sticking tight with us. I did go ahead and restart the stream just to make sure we could kind of solve some of the lag issues we had here. Make sure we're giving you the best possible quality. So appreciate you sticking around. While next map is going to be Paris, and I unfortunately don't have a Paris video scene for us here. I know we were talking a little bit about Baptiste before we switched it over.
Do some B-roll of Notre Dame burning right from CNN.
Oh, rip, dude, rip.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, that's a feels bad right there. Yeah, obviously, Swift, you mentioned there about the Baptiste. I was actually going to say before, obviously, this on Watch Point Gibraltar. Obviously, neither team ran it on Oasis there, so I don't know about you guys, but I would expect to see it again on Paris. Obviously, we have seen it in the Overwatch League when Paris has been ran. Obviously, Paris notorious for being a hard choke to attack, really, especially that first point with that bunker comp sent up. So I think, if you're Kulture eSports right now, you've just lost Oasis, but you probably have a chance now to run that bunker comp that worked so well at Watch Point Gibraltar for so long. We have to remember they did hold them until the last 20 seconds that was left on that attack. They did only lose because of the EMP bomb combo that was connected before the immortality field could go down. So I'd say that Kulture eSports, they're probably going to be still confident going into this map of Paris. And again, it's a map where sort of anything can happen. It's a typical sort of assault or 2CP map, really, isn't it? Where you could see some mad compositions, or you could just see goats against goats. So hopefully we'll see a nice mixture from both teams, really. Just obviously we're just waiting confirmation from both the captains that we are ready to get started.
Did we switch sides, by the way? Is it going red to blue? Okay.
Yes, we have switched sides. So
Yep.
we now have Kulture eSports as the blue team, and Baiwatch is down the red team. So we have switched sides now for this third map of Paris. Just a reminder, Both teams now have a map apiece, with Kulture eSports taking Watchpoint Gibraltar and Baiwatch just taking Oasis there, as you did see with a 2-0 it was in the end. So I believe, are we about ready, Swift?
Yeah, give us 1 quick second. We're going to check in with the captains, and we'll be right back with you. All right, thanks for sticking with us, guys. We finally got all the bugs sorted out. We are in Paris. To answer Maz's question there, we do switch sides here in the CGL, so you see Kulture coming in on the attack this time around, and then you have Baiwatch in black on the defense. So, 2CP, man. This is the second, or I think this is the only 2CP map in the quarterfinal map pool. This is going to be interesting. We saw a little bit of the bunker comp on Gibraltar. Do you expect to see that on defense here from both of these teams here?
It's going to be even more effective here. I mean, I would assume so. And I think that you know, it worked out so well for you on payload, from bunker on payload. It's you know, tough one to have it work. So, you know, I think you got to use it here. I mean, and it does look like we will have a bunker come out, but without a Baptiste, which is he's kind of become like the bread and butter, man, of bunker lately.
Yeah, obviously,
I actually do not like having this Lucio, to be honest, like whatsoever. I'd rather have a Zen in place of a Lucio here. I mean, who are you going to speed boost really on the defensive bunker?
I think it's more to move the Larissa and Bastion if there was like a dive. Tigray was the person who ran.
Just get a Symmetra,
who ran the Baptiste on Watchpoint Gibraltar. Instead, he's going to go back to the Pharaoh. So they're going to have I guess, well, sort of double projectile really, because Bastion's hits can and projectiles, but finishing with both obviously. So they're going to have a lot of damage, so it's going to make it very hard to push through this choke. We know this first point of Paris is extremely hard to try and hold. So Baiwatch, they've lost. Radiant maybe do it quite easy, quite early, but Everdie is just going to res him off, res him back up. That's the beauty of the Mercy. I think that's some burnt toast potentially on the point. Yes, it is. Just going to pressure the point. So Squad's going to drop back on that Diva to stop it being given up. And Tigray is actually going to get picked up by Radiant. Maybe do it on that Hanzo, but Alex is going to fall to kill the Beast on the Bastion. Obviously, this is going to be extremely hard for them to try and play around. The Res is going to come in on to Tigray, so they're now back to 6 people on the defense here for Kulture eSports, but Tigray is actually going to fall to a Reinhardt swing from Squatch there, maybe getting a little bit too close to the ground, as it looks like Kulture eSports.
Yeah, it's like, you know, getting a fly swatter. They're going to be swapping that guy out of the sky, dude. Crazy stuff.
They've actually just repositioned the Bastion now in this building, and off goes the Reinhardt, booted by IM, and Squatch goes marching off into the ocean there of Paris. Killer Beast uses the tank though, but will fall to Kuzan GB on that Zarya. Imp is going to be committed as well by some burnt toast. The Eurus is going to fall in Quadzaki. I probably said that wrong again, I do apologise. I am Anna, and slowly but surely everyone is just going to fall on the defense here for Kulture eSports, and Baiwatch is going to take the first map.
because IMGB will have the Graviton, they're gonna have the hands of ult, they're gonna have the summoner. They have all the tools in their arsenal right now, just like the steamroll B.
But obviously we know every single two
hacking this Lucio, hacking Anna has to be such a high priority for Sunburnt Toast right now. That sound barrier could screw up this push.
Oh, he hacks the Brig instead. That's unfortunate from Sunburnt Toast there. I think potentially he was going for the Lucio potentially. Obviously, I was about to say, we know with 2 CP maps, all sort of maps, they're very snowbally. There is the dragon with the grab. The beat will come out from Alex, actually, not from Iron Manor, so the beat was not used on the defense there. I think the Graviton Surge actually missed, as there was no kills from the Hans Dragon afterwards, but Iron Manor is actually going to fall to Sunburnt Toast before he can pop the sound barrier. Killer Beat's going to fall on the Somber as well. Just watch, maybe do it. It's also going to fall to, it's going to take out the Zenyatta as well. Tigray trying to turn this back around. We'll get 2 picks, one of them on the Lucio, but maybe do it's going to be raised back up. They're going to leave Alex to come back from spawn. Iron Manor again is going to get picked off by a Fire Strike before he can use the sound barrier. Somber could only touch for a slight second, and the Hammond is a little too late to touch, and they will snowball in to get the second point there.
Dude, T-Gray was having one of the worst far up performances. Like, no, with all due respect, my god, dude, you should have swapped off your first death. You know, dying to Reinhardt, dying to everything, you know, dying to the wind. Not how you want to be playing Pharah, my dude. That was tough. I mean, I kind of feel bad for him, but man, like, he was what, like, he got 2 barrage kills at the end. He was what, like 2 and 6 that map. Ouch.
I've just watching the stream back. It's slightly delayed, so I hope that doesn't cause too much of an issue with our commentary. So 4 minutes 56. So best part of 5 minutes really on the attack there for Baiwatch. So Mace going to come out on defense for them with the bunker comp. Looks like they also going to have the bunker comp with the Bastion Junkrat May, but no Baptista sight. And again, your favourite character, Massa, of that Lucio.
It's not like I don't dislike Lucio. I just think other characters should have this speed boost ability, but whatever.
I mean, Brick has it when she rallies.
Yeah, for herself. I mean, Soldier has it all the time, basically, unless he gets hacked. Which, you know, I don't know how that works. I don't know how, like, you know, getting hacked stops you from running. You know, I don't know why McCree can't roll when he gets hacked. You know, imagine that in real life. You know. So we have a bit of an echo actually coming in from you, I think. Oh, okay.
So Baiwatch now. Baiwatch going to be Baiwatch. Yes, Baiwatch. Setting up on this defense. They're actually going to have.
I like this crossfire actually with the torch turret off to the side. Yeah, I actually quite like this.
Question May. But Killer Beast is going to pick off because on GB instantly on that Pharaoh is just going to get res back up. But Alex is going to lose his lives to T-Gray on that Junkrat. They've gone for double projectile here on attack by Kulture eSports. So obviously they expected these not really worked for them because on GB has actually just killed everyone. I've just noticed how delayed the actual stream is. There's still 20 seconds to go for their defense on the stream.
Correct, and that's by design. So just for everybody watching, the stream is on a 60-second delay, and that's to prevent stream sniping and maintain the integrity of the stream. So that's why it's on a delay like that.
Yeah, I've only just noticed myself. I do apologise. So, because on GB, going to be having this the tank configuration ready on this defense mode. It's actually the first ultimate which has been built from both teams, actually. In fact, here by this Bastion. Obviously, you mentioned about they have the Torb and the May. So, the May 3 is coming out. Clutch on Kowalski there. It's going to get frozen, taken out by the Bastion. He's going to get killed by Killer Beast again on that tower, but again, it's just going to get red back. Killer Beast gets 2 picks. They'll pick off the Moira and Ebadiah on the Orisa's going to fall. The Tyre gets killed though, and Killer Beast will also fall because on GB. He has a tank He has the tank ultimate, but he hasn't used it yet. I've read it maybe do it. He's actually going to pick off the Mercy somewhere off screen there that I didn't see. But the Mercy, that's a huge pick to stop the snowball. Obviously, they are down right now on defense to only 3 players Baiwatch. So they don't have a shield right now as Orisa is coming back from spawn. And they don't have a speed boost to get the Orisa back quickly.
If they use Blizzard and Molten Core together, what is that called, dude? Because it's going to have like ice and lava together.
Oh, I don't think the Blizzard's going to be used anytime soon, as he just gets solo shattered there by Quadski. Will solo shatter the May. It maybe do it. The tank form going to come out by Kuzon TV. Going to take out I Am Anna's just going to get res back up by Hammy there for Cultural Esports on the He's got set up again. Will demec Diva and take out both 2 of the DPS. He's going to get the res again. Alex again going for these like risky reses. He's getting them off every time. We'll actually use this live that time, and Kusan GB will get focused down before he's able to do it. And Squad the Baby Diva will take out Kusan GB on the Bastion, as well as the mail being used. It's a huge mail. It actually freezes everyone on the point. We'll only get 1 pick. Barrage is going to be committed by Killer Bees as well. T Gray's actually just going to rip up a couple of kills onto the supports there. Interesting use of the Blizzard. Obviously, that now means
they're going to be sprawled.
Yeah, with that slight delay now, it means that Baiwatch have secured more time. So they will defend first for the next round of powers if we do go into extra rounds.
This is looking pretty difficult, man. T Gray is going to have this tire available. We're going to have the bomb. We're going to have both support ultimates. This would be really bad, honestly. I do not like that Blizzard use whatsoever, man. Someone said winnable in chat, and it definitely was not.
Oh, shatter by Quadski there. Again off camera for me there. Gets killed by Sunbird Toaster. We switched over to the Moira. Interesting switch. I don't know, maybe it was on Moira the entire time. I don't remember. So Kusan GB again on this Bastion. It should take it up of the DPS there in Junkrat and Farrow. They're supposed to counter him, aren't they? Not the opposite way around. But he has another tank now. They're going to have the Molten Lava Coalescence. They're going to have a lot of ultimates here on defense. So I think for now, if you are Culture Esports, you are definitely looking to take sort of a dry push here to get as many ultimates out as you possibly can.
If I'm Killer Beast, dude, I'm going Sombra right now. I don't know why the hell you would keep playing this far indoors against, against the Moira, against the Torb, against the Bastion, against the Orisa. It's do you want to die?
Maybe he does, you never know. T Gray is going to be flanking around with this trunk card. They've actually flanked all the way around here. So Kuzak GB is going to use tank form the Molten Lava.
Wow, that May just actually totally cucked him by putting that wall up in front of a lava.
They also used the Coalescence. So Reddit maybe do it has another 3. Actually going to use it this time because the fight is already won, as Killer Bees ended up killing himself with a direct rocket there. Probably coastal wall wasn't well using Barrage because he has that for the next ultimate fight. Obviously that was a dry push really there. Very good dry push.
This is a crazy stagger, dude, on the Koski right now. This could be. But his team's back, but he was like close to being dead. He's very. Oh, again he gets walled off, man. This is crazy.
Oh, the May gets charged though. Reddit maybe do it went too far forward. Actually going to get charged. They're going to come in with that with the Valkyrie being used. And T-Guy's actually already flanked round and picked off 2. The Bastion and the May's going to fall. And just like that, the overextension for Reddit maybe do it might cost them the point. He's obviously going to be coming back out with the freeze. It's Friday, but it's too late. The extension there was too much. I was halfway through talking about how Culture Esports were happy with that dry push. They got almost all the ultimate out there on defense. You do it, pushes a little too far forward on the May, gets pinned. They use the Valkyrie, push in. The tire is huge to take out the Bastion and the Mercy, and they get on the point and win it from there. But they do have half the time that Baiwatch did set on their attack.
The ice wall didn't separate Quadski from the rest of his team. It just baited Reddit made me do it into a false sense of security, man. The reckless pin turned the whole fight. Like that's a ballsy move by Quadski, but way to make it work, dude. This is nuts. This is anyone's game at this point. I mean, this is 2CP, ladies and gentlemen. This is how it rolls.
I'm watching the replay right now, like right when that charge happened, dude. It's like there's only the Moira, the Mercy, and the Mei there trying to take care of this Ryan. But Ryan, okay, honestly, I think the Mei play was fine. It just the team was not there backing him up whatsoever, dude.
Right. Yeah. Nuts, dude. Let's go, dude. Let's go.
There's a phrase which does go around in the Overwatch League a lot, and in Overwatch in general. High risk, high reward. That play wasn't the best on defense, but they will defend again here. Baiwatch obviously have twice, well, double the amount of time, and that was set in the end by Kulture eSports. They will have that time advantage, and again, they're going to switch this up a little bit. They're going to have the Orisa, they're going to have a Zen Mercy this time with a Junkrat for Sunburnt Toast. Instead of Torbjorn, it was only played for that first round, there is not going to be played in this one, but again they're going to have the Bastion, who again's going to fall to Killer Beast. Obviously they're running the same comp here, but instead T-Gray has actually gone on to the Hanzo rather than, I believe it was the Sunbird that he was originally playing, but Reddit made me do it's going to fall instantly. Because on GB on this Bastion right now is obviously doing a lot to counter the Pharaohs, and I think you are right. It's probably about time they do switch off the Pharaoh at this point.
It is so cathartic, dude. If you're a player who just hates seeing Pharahs do well, or you know somebody who hates seeing Pharahs do well, show them this game, because dude, the Pharahs are just being absolutely annihilated in this game.
I've got to cut in here. What is Sunbird 2's doing here, by the way? He was just in the middle of 4 of the enemy team there. Actually gets a pick on the Reinhardt, builds up his tire and takes out both supports. I have no idea what he was doing on that side. He was just in the middle of the team.
Dude, Sunburnt Toast is looking more like Yum Stale Bread out here, who is a PlayStation 4 Junkrat legend, you know, top 100 on console, sorry, on PC right now, using a controller. Still only plays Junkrat. That's basically what he's looking like here.
I don't know what he was doing in that position. He was miles out of position, but he's got away with it. He was just bouncing his tire and he's wins that team fight, and now there's less than 30 seconds here on attack for Kulture eSports. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be laughing right now. T-Gray is going to get a nice early pick.
Huge!
He's going to be res. Oh, the headshot's huge. Ebadiah res is out in the open. Dragon's just going to be going across the point here. To take this point because on GB will fall on the Bastion. Obviously they can't res him anymore because our Mercy is dead. Squad's going to get demeched by I am Anna is going to take out Reddit Memory with the punch. Squad's just going to commit. The bomb goes but doesn't touch point and will die. And Alex actually trying to come back with the Transcendence. Will fall to T-Gray again on that Hanzo. They do only have 30 seconds to stow bullying, but they do have 3 ultimates. But Reddit Memory does have that May freeze, which we know it can be very crucial to stopping people touch the point, especially in a situation like this where they need they need to touch this payload.
I was just gonna say, I gotta give a big shout out to Killer Beast there, understanding the win condition and committing his life to unseating the Bastion off the high ground in that last fight.
I am Anna. There is the barrier. Bomb, shatter, squad. Every single ultimate under the Sunfinish squad is huge. We have a 3-man bomb. The Bastion fell just before that to T-Gray. The tire. Oh, sorry, no, the tire is not actually up yet for Sunbird 2. The Transcendence was used, the May freeze, but still, they're on their point. They've picked up at least a tick right now. Oh, what a charge on Sunbird Toes coming out there by Quadsky. A little bit of luck for that, but you know what? He'll take it. He'll take that Ebadiah afterwards, because on GB, it's taken out before the setup, and they'll take both points. Kulture eSports, but it will be in overtime. Remember, Baiwatch, they do have almost 5 minutes now to attack. If they do time left, they will only be playing for a draw, potentially, Kulture eSports. I think this is the time where you're going to see the bunker comps again, and potentially the Baptiste goons be coming out, just for that immortality field. What's your thoughts after that attack round? What a round that was!
That was nuts. Yeah, I think Swift made a really good point. You know, just understanding the win condition is such a high, you know, skill in Overwatch. You know, getting those comms up. You know, understanding that, giving your life to make the play. You know, taking one for the team. And really, you know, in comps like that, when you have a Bastion, the Bastion is kind of a win condition. So taking him out, just that's why you run the Mercy at the Bastion, because like it is kind of an all-in. And so being able to get, like, you know, a redo, if you will, by having that res available for him is so important.
Wow. In terms of on to defense, unfortunately, again, it's going to be the Lucio.
You know what? I like this attack. I like this Visa picks coming out though on the attack if they go with this, you know. So playing for Grav, Dragon, EMP, Shatter, I think these are, you know, again, going back to understanding the win condition, we come full circle. Time is a flat circle. Through Attack Season 1, shout out. You know, win condition right here, dude. EMP, Grav, boom.
On the defense, we're going to have the Bastion Junkrat again, but this time it's not solo tank. They're actually going to have a Diva this time, probably to get rid of some of that spam potentially if they went a Pharaoh or a Junkrat of their own. Obviously on the defense, Baiwatch just decided to play the one tank of Orisa for the extra DPS of Nay. It was, which Reddit Mary do, it was playing Somber again, Sunburt Toast. It's already 40% to an EMP. And on that attack, pressuring the point a little bit. Oh wow, Squatch's barrier gets absolutely destroyed, and Sunburt Toast is also going to fall. Ebadiah is actually going to rizzle the Reinhardt. Sunburt Toast already, just want to bring attention to that. He's already almost 85% through his EMP charge. The fight didn't be going on for about 40 seconds. That's an extremely quick EMP charge in there. It's actually potentially almost going to be the first ultimate online for both teams. As soon as that killer boost is going to take, it's going to fall to Squatch, and Quadski is going to fall on that Bastion to Reddit Made Me Do using that Storm Arrow.
They don't need to use the EMP here. They should honestly launch for this next push.
To use the EMP. They're probably going to have EMP to slow. Well, they use the Shatter a bit questionable there by Squat. Maybe he just got a bit carried away and just wanted to shatter that Lucio to the ground to make sure they didn't kill him.
Overkill is underrated, man. Sometimes it's about sending a message. And Baiwatch coming off the first point with 3.5 minutes left. They're going to get the extra 30 seconds pushed to 4. They're trying to make a statement here. They want the dub, not the tie.
I don't mind this tire whatsoever. If they get some value, it's going to completely like negate this push.
Well, this tire probably by Tigray is more of a distraction as well. He knows the snowball is real. It doesn't actually get anything, but it delays an extra 15 seconds for them to get in position. If you actually looked, that tire's actually used why Kodansky is actually going to switch to the Swaria.
This is actually so smart.
They've made some switches, so they use the tire to cover which is being made. That's a huge pick coming by Alex. It's going to fall to the charge of Tigray, who's just switched to the Reinhardt. There is the EMP, the Grav, and the Dragon's being used to just clear out the bomb. It's going to come out. It's going to take out Reddit Made Me Do It. He wasn't fully shielded. Tigray, the Narnia pin as they call, will get Squatch on that Reinhardt. I don't think they're even going to sacrifice that tick right now on this defense. Obviously 2CP, they have a lot closer spawns. Squad's going to pick off Alex. Abadiah is going to fall to Killer Bass. And they are actually going to hold. They have now switched over to the Zenyatta goats defenses. They look to hold for 3 minutes against Baiwatch. Their win condition went out the window, but because of this GB, it's very close to getting
Tigray, bro. He uses Batire, rebuys his team some time, goes on to the Reinhardt, gets 2 charge kills in that defense. He basically carried that whole thing. That defense, man, was absolutely just, you know, props to him, dude.
He uses the tire to cover the fact that there was switching. So there was 2 switches that came in. It was Squad and it was Quadiski who both switched, I believe. I know Quadiski definitely switched from the Bastion to go Zarya. So they used the tire to slow down, take a get those swatches done. Squad's going to get hacked in the back though by Zenyatta. They're going to commit the rally, but it doesn't keep him alive. Sunburt Toast will take out the Zenyatta. That's a huge pick. That Discord Orb and Harmony Orb is down. They're fighting. They have another Marathon Surge. They're very close to getting another Dragon and another Shatter here for Squatch. Coming out by Squatch. Connects with 3. Sam Barry is going to respond there by I Am Anna, and Squatch is going to fall. It was just a Narnia pin because on GB had the Graviton Surge, didn't use it, but it made me do it. It's a fight which has already been won right now, and Baiwatch, they have to reset, but they do have a lot of ultimates to use, including the Grav Hanzo combo, and they sure that he gets past that Diva defense matrix if necessary. On the defense, they do have their own Graviton Surge combo with the Diva Bomb and Transcendence. So it's going to be a very crucial fight here for Kulture eSports. Potentially only 2 fights left on Paris.
Tigray did really good there again, man. So he shatters the Zarya, I guess, like timing the bubble, whatever. And also there was the Discord on the Zarya too, so that charge is guaranteed to kill.
Obviously, yes, Squad was picked off really early in that fight, but he regains the Graviton Surge comes out early because I'm GB. The Dragons is a bit late. There's the EMP. Transcendence was used. All 3 people are dead instantly. 2 support down. Reddit Made Me Do It picking off the Zarya with the Dragons, and then I Am Anna on the Lucio will fall. Demon Bob's going to come in, he's going to get Alex. It's two picks straight away. Back to Sunburnt is down in Sunburnt Toast. Alex is going to get rest back up, but Rainer Maybe it's going to fall to Hamidare on the Brigitte, who's going to pop them. Quadinski is going to switch to the Hammer from the Zarya. Kulture going to spin around the pillar, pick off Squatch on the Reinhardt, and they're going to hold less than 30 seconds now. Sunburnt is making a late switch to Junkrat.
Baiwatch has been doing
right
so many things right, dude. Like, they had the right comp and everything. It just, yet again, man, a lucky bomb finds Alex yet again. He goes down, and this point should have been capped like 2 minutes ago. This is just really tilting to watch.
Well, right now, Kulture eSports, they have an advantage right now. There's no ultimates online for Baiwatch coming out. Sunburnt Toast has made an emergency switch to a Junkrat. The Shatter comes.
Monster Shatter gonna find that Mercy.
Mercy's dead. Squatch will also fall. That's 2 down already. On attacking because GB dies before he can get the grab. But maybe do it can't get his dragons off quick enough, and I believe this is going to be Kulture eSports holding for 4 minutes on the second point of Paris to take a second map and take a shock lead, really, you'd say, depending on the standings in this series. What a game that Paris game was. I'm interested to see what's played of the game. And it's going to be because on GB on the Bastion. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I thought potentially it was going to be the Junkrat flank, which was absolutely insane to watch from a first-person perspective. It's just going to be because on GB, just sort of spouting away on the Bastion, just getting a 4K. Casually, what are your thoughts after that round? Massa, Swift, whoever wants to go first out of the two of you, because right now I'm lost for words about what just happened on that 2CP map.
You see Tigre on there for the Junkrat, but I think really it should have been his Reinhardt, dude. Like, he was doing so much. He had so many clutch shatters, so many clutch charges, man. This guy was just a beast. He was so aggressive. He was a threat, like, all crazy. And you're seeing, like, you know, I'm watching right now on the replay because we're streaming behind, as you said, by 60 seconds. Getting that kill into the Mercy at the end too, preventing any sort of res coming up. Just what a sick player.
I believe that's. Yeah, I believe our last next map here is going to be Hollywood, potentially last map here. Obviously, if Culture eSports win Hollywood, the series is over. They're through to the semi-finals, and they've knocked out Baiwatch. As you would mention, potentially quite a bit of shock considering obviously Culture has finished 8th in the overall standings and Baiwatch finished 4th. But in terms of this game, we have to agree. I think you'd agree with me as well, Massa, that all 3 of these maps so far we've played in Gibraltar, in Oasis and Paris have been very close. There's only been little things that have gone into Hollywood. Obviously more of a hybrid map, which we obviously haven't played yet so far in the series. So what do you expect coming out from Hollywood? Do you expect to see maybe Baptiste comes back? Maybe we see more of the Sarah again? What's your thoughts for Hollywood now?
Yeah, you know what? You could run a bunker for again, right? Like, you do run the risk of getting snow goats. Yeah, I think for first point you could definitely run some bunker, but after that I think you might want to just go floats, to be completely honest, because of all the high ground on Streets phase. And then when you get to third point you can go run hard again.
So obviously
yeah, so floats is basically just dive goats. So it's like, you know how like you float, it's like you have all the dive, right? So you pick all like dots or floats. So it's basically just about the Reinhardt for a Winston as your main tank.
Yeah, we haven't actually, correct me if I'm wrong, we expected that in Gibraltar, but we didn't actually see it. The only goats we saw in Gibraltar was the normal, traditional Reinhardt goats. We haven't actually seen the dive coach yet, and obviously we did mention, not this patch, the one before, there was a lot of changes that was made to armor, which meant Winston was more viable. Obviously we've done up more throats more in the Overwatch League in Contenders, for example, so it's a bit of a shock that we haven't seen in it. And you do mention, obviously, Hollywood, it's probably a map where we will hopefully we will see it, because it's a very interesting comp, because it's played completely different to the Reinhardt version, because Reinhardt version is you can play it sort of slow or you can play it quick if you want. More with floats, it's a very quick composition. It's get the kills, get back out if you don't succeed to get a kill or not, to make sure you don't get killed yourself. I expect Hollywood's, obviously, if you're Well, we have Baiwatch and Baiwatch right now. But if you're Culture eSports, you're coming into Hollywood. You're 2-map, you're 2-1. You know, if you win this one, you win the whole series. Obviously, potentially, it's more of an upset for them as well, because we know they have a few sub players playing. They don't have a few of their starters. And obviously, we did mention before at the start of the stream that obviously, it's a long season. So obviously, these guys are probably played, but they haven't played probably as much as they potentially would have liked. And you have to admit, if they win Hollywood now, they knock out Baiwatch, they go through to the semi-finals, are they making a thing to stay in the team permanently? Because obviously this would be a bit of a shock from the outside point of view looking in anyway.
That's going to be a management call. I think no matter what, you're going to get people who are going to be unhappy with that decision. And if they win or lose, unless they go all the way with these subs, then it was the right call. If they end up winning with their the OG roster, then that's the right call too. But eventually when they lose, people are going to be like, okay, should have had the subs in, or should have had the OG roster. So
obviously we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves here, don't worry, chat. We know that obviously we've still got Hollywood. Could be the last map. If not, we do have there will be actually no tiebreaker in Jokertown now, I don't believe, because Ilios is actually at 5th map, and obviously you can't draw Ilios, so there's going to be at least potentially only a maximum of 2 maps to be played here. So right now,
well, you could draw this map though.
You could potentially draw this map, yes. But if you are Baiwatch right now, you probably have to win both maps now to win the series after just losing Paris. You did have a massive time bank as well. Obviously, we have to remember they had double the time bank there on attack than Culture eSports did.
Yeah.
So how do you bounce back from that?
We're not going to see it, but as much Halo to just I wish you would see it. As for how you bounce back. I think I mentioned it briefly, dude. Baiwatch, their attack, they had everything going for them. They had exactly what you want to run with the the Zarya Hanzo EMP bomb, whatever combo, or Shatter, as well. They had everything that they needed. Okay, yeah, we're not. I don't think we're going to be seeing this composition. So, but Symmetra. Sunburned Toast, running the Symmetra on the defense.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. We will be seeing this composition because the defenders are out now. They're not in spawn. They are going to be winning. So we are going to be seeing the Sim Bastion. I mean, right now they have kind of nothing to really lose. Baiwatch, they know that they need to win Hollywood basically, so why not bring out the Sim and the Bastion? Because GB was doing extremely well on the Bastion there on Bunker for Paris, so it'd be interesting to see how it's played on this map. Moving on attack, obviously we've again for the viewers, so Baiwatch is now the blue team again, they're back on defense, and the red team is Culture eSports. They've coming out on that Zenyatta Goats composition, which we did mention potentially was going to be one. Unfortunately, no Reinhardt, but TG Ray again is going to pick off Sunburnt Toast instantly on that symmetric.
That means the rotation is not going to be how they want it to go, man. You would have wanted to go into the upper high ground where the Bastion and the Orisa are right now. The rest of the team couldn't get over there.
Well, they was able to make it in there. Oh, what a charge by T Gray. He's doing really well in the strikeout right now, but unfortunately he's going to fall to Kazan GB on that Bastion. Everdire goes for a risky res. He's going to get punished. And Sunburnt Toast and Reddit maybe do it. He's going to get killed before he can get back in there. And Squad's going to get a few cleanup kills here.
I don't think Reddit made me do it. Wanted to remake, and I think that's extremely smart discipline by him, not wanting to give up 600 HP of actually 750 HP worth of all charge with a baby diva too, right? So really good discipline by him. Good, commendable.
Well, we've got switches coming in again, and Kazan GB is back on the soldier. We saw how effective he was on Watchpoint Gibraltar on that hero, but a bit of an interesting switch against the Ghost composition. Sunburnt Toast has gone to the Farah, something a bit more common. It's weird how they haven't gone for a Farah Junkrat and how well Sunburnt Toast did earlier on. It's an absolutely huge shatter by T Gray there. I think that lands on 4 members, I'd like to say that was. I'm not sure how many that actually was. I saw 4 people on the floor at least. Everybody is going to get a late res on to Alex though to keep the defense alive. We've just got Kazan GB just sort of spamming Right now, Riley's going to be popped by Hammy there, just to give him a lot of armor. Right now, they get a lot of free push on this payload right now. They've only had to commit.
This is goats. This is goats, dude. Look at this.
Graviton Surge comes out. It's going to be the Grav Bomb combo. No one's actually going to fall to it. They managed to get away. Spot though is going to be coming back in on this Winston. She's going to beat them around a little bit with this primal rage to slow this payload down. Because on GB has already worked towards a tactical visor, but I Am Anna's going to respond instantly. And T Gray again has picked up 2 on this Reinhardt. He's doing extremely well this game. He's coming alive.
Imagine actually playing Soldier against Goats, chat. Imagine actually doing that and expecting to get anything other than an L. Feels bad, man. Yeah, Cause gonna be going onto that brig now. You know, his team is probably yelling at him. Not a very good idea, my dude.
Well, you have to admit, there was only one team fight there for that entire second point. They're actually going to push up as well and get some late staggers on Cause on GB. For example, he gets picked off by Quadski's push forward there. The barrage coming out by Sunburnt Toast. He was also left with the old spawn that's potentially just used just to die to switch, because potentially he's going to switch as well to go another support here. So they go on to match Goats for Goats, and it will be, sorry, he's going to go to the Zarya, sorry, I do apologise. So we will have Zen Goats against Zen Goats, but the problem is with this right now for Baiwatch on the defense is that Culture eSports are going to have ultimate advantage because they've been building it up the entire time and they've barely had to use any. The Diva Bomb though going to be coming in. Not going to get anyone, but Quadski on the Zarya is going to pick off Cousin GB and Squatch. So the 2 main targets are down. In Goat Squad's going to get a nice sort of left kick on Sunburnt Toast there. 1 by 1 right now. Baiwatch are falling on this defense, and look how many ultimates have that they're not using right now. They just grabbed the spawn to prevent them from coming out. They're just going to get the Lucio off point right now to actually roll the point in to cap this 3rd point with a lot of time left on the clock. Used of ultimates.
Somebody, please buy Tigray a Vancouver Titans bumper or a Super San Fran skin. Please, my dudes, please make it happen. This is absolutely just, his Brian play has been phenomenal. He's been an absolute beast. His team just steamrolled, man. They have 1 second less than they began with on Hollywood.
We were mentioning about momentum. Baiwatch, obviously coming in that Paris, they had double the time that Culture eSports had and lost the map. How they would respond. They just got steamrolled there on Hollywood. And I think right now it's a case of, is Culture eSports playing with such confidence, knowing take Hollywood, they win the whole series, they're through to the semi-finals of the playoffs here. There's a lot at stake for both of these teams. And as well, in terms of reputation, not reputation, but Baiwatch, they finished 4th in the seedings. Culture finished 8th, so this is an even huger win for them if you look at the standings point of view as well. In terms of where each team finished in the regular season, you go into this game, they're probably the underdogs. And we have to remember, they have sub players right now playing for them. Culture eSports,
they're just sandbagging, dude, that's all.
So for Culture eSports right now, they're probably loving, they're loving life right now. They know they've got a few sub players in. They know there was potentially a bit of disadvantage anyway because of the standings coming into it, but as we've proven from all 3 maps, they've been extremely close and they've just dominated Hollywood. So they're not going to bring out any. We're just going to see straightforward Zen Goats on defense coming in by Culture eSports. And on the attack, I think potentially some switches could be made here, because I don't see them winning attack Bastion on Hollywood. But you know what? We've seen weirder things in Overwatch, so there's a potential for an attack coming in.
Without a Symmetra, this is honestly. This is so.
I guess it takes them by surprise.
Off your own team. This is like, solo queue strats right now when you don't like what your team comp is.
Well, it's a bit of a surprise because you would expect an attack Bastion on Hollywood without the sim. So right now, it's about how Culture eSports adapt to this Bastion being there. Because he's just mousing that shield right now, as you can see. And T-Gray's already lost his shield, and D-Mech has come out on Killer Beast already. And then the Zen's going to fall as well. It's actually going to work because they didn't expect it. He gets a 3-man straight away, and they're going to take the 1st point quite quickly as well. I'd say probably just as quick as Culture eSports did on their attack.
They are going to pirate ship this. This is going to be pretty nutty, man, if the attack may too. This is like, hey.
Apparently, someone in chat has just said apparently he already has the Vancouver Titan skin. Apparently, He's actually going to switch.
Oh, so just like Bumper. Cool.
So there's a lot of switches here. We've got Killer Bees going to the Junkrat. He obviously did really well with that early on in the series. So they have the Junkrat, they have T-Gray now. On the Hanzo, who also did very well on the Hanzo pick when he would play it. But they are solo tanking in Quantity on this Reinhardt. Very interesting to only have one tank, obviously against the Pirate Com. You need a shield to stay alive, and well, Bastion kind of dies. And I think that was actually just a suicide there by Killer Beast, I think, to try and kill Kuzan GB by the look of it. But he's just going to get res back up. That's the beauty of having Mercy on the team. Killer Beast commits, he kills the Bastion, he just gets res back up. And again, there's not actually been a team fight yet on this second point. This is mirrors of the attack that was done by Kulture eSports, where there was not a single fight at this point right now where they're at. And again, because GB is going to fall to Killer Beast. There's a tire though coming by Sunburnt Toes. Looks like it's going to go around the corner. It's going to pick off Squad. He had the Transcendence. He couldn't use it. Killer Beast going to use the tire himself. Take out Squatch on the Arista, but loses life to Sunburnt Toes. Sand barrier coming out from both teams, I believe that was. Yeah, T-Gray. Sorry, yeah, T-Gray's going to take out Kuzan GB. Again, Reddit and maybe do it. He's going to put the Blizzard in. There's enough here to follow up on it, but he's going to lose his life to T-Gray.
No, respawns, dude. Too many respawns. Too many cooks.
He's going to drag it across the point there. Obviously, again, that's not the first time we have seen a questionable Blizzard from Reddit member do it. We saw it on Paris as well, if you do remember, when he just like trusted it when everyone was dead. But he adapted that for the next time they defended. Times in a row now, and Blizzard, it's quite an important ultimate, especially when you look at the side of defense here for Culture eSports. They don't have it either, so there's nothing stopping it from going out. The only thing they can use to block it is a Transcendence.
I just noticed too that the defense is running 3 supports, but no Brig and 1 tank. This is pretty nutty.
Yeah, they're running a completely different comp. It's not Goats, it's whatever. And T-Gray again.
Whoa.
What does this
guy play? What is this dude? Hey, see your tank mode, raise you an arrow. 1 arrow can take out a tank, guys. I don't know why the Polish couldn't stop Nazis in World War II with arrows can take down tanks.
I mean, T-Gray.
Technically they had horses, but still.
Like T-Gray seems to have really come into his own in his last few maps on the Rhino and on this Hunter. This push has been stopped because on GB loses that Bastion up, but will stay on the Bastion. It's not going to switch. Bongo comes out. Oh, it's a shatter to land on 3. The Bongos is going to get no value as it's going to get destroyed instantly. The Dragons potentially not really needed there by T-Gray, but the rate he's going right now, he'll generate them really quickly. Anyway, because on GB just gets set up, he's going to get killed again. Probably going to have some switches coming in here. We're going to have Squatch. It's going to switch to the Winston. There's going to be Alex is switching to the Anna. Cousin GB is going to switch over to the Farah, and Reddit and Emily is going to go over to the Diva. So they're going to go for a dive comp with double projectile of Junkrat Farah. The way T-Gray's been playing right now, though, he'll probably shut down this Farah quite comfortably, but we'll find out.
I don't know about this Anna pick, to be honest with you, with the Farah. It's kind of weird.
I guess Sunburnt Toast is actually just going to use the tie. He's going to pick off a nice pick onto the Mercy there. They're going to push him with that. I think another reason for the Anna is the anti-nades can be hit quite comfortably here because there's only a Reinhardt shield to stop them from being hit. Killer Beast is going to get picked on to Squatch.
Oh, that's it.
And a double kill with the tire. So despite the fall of Hamidare
Anna,
and
you got it. Anna, what are you doing, dude? You can stagger Reddit. You can stagger my... Oh, man, that's... If I'm the coach of this team, I'm telling him after this round.
So, only a minute, probably going to be about a minute for the next time I fight. Alex just switched over to the Anna. Obviously, it's a lot easier to hit Antonate to get just a Reinhardt barrier, as long as you're smart. It can obviously counter the barrier and the
Transcendence, which is a bigger use, yeah.
Yeah, there's free support on the side here of Culture eSports on defense. They have a massive advantage in this. Obviously, we have to remember Baiwatch. I've just switched most of their characters, so all of them have reset ultimates. It's only Ebediah who stayed on the Lucio that has his ultimate right now. Who's actually going to commit it. Only 4 people are actually going to get that though. So a bit of an interesting soundbite. I don't know why it was used. I think it was used just to get on the point and be able to stay on point. Hamidare is going to respond with the Valkyrie in response to that. Tigray is going to throw out the Dragon of Squat. Again, it's going to fall to Squad on that Zenyatta. Everybody is going to fall to Killer Beast, and Tigray again is going to pick off Alex, and Killer Beast is going to pick off the Pharaoh casually. Sunbutt Toast has been able to pick off Hammy there, but unfortunately for him, well, unfortunately for Sunbutt Toast anyway, he respawns literally like 5 seconds behind him, and right now he might potentially get staggered. He will actually get killed really late by Tigray. He did have Tyre as well. They need to touch right now. You can see Squatch is waiting to touch the trigger overtime. He doesn't touch, he C9's it. And just like that, Kulture eSports will take Hollywood. And with that, it's a place in the semi-finals with a 3-1 win over Baiwatch. Massa, what's your thoughts on that final round there of Hollywood?
Just wow, dude. Tigray, what a beast, dude. What a hard carry. Really, man, these last 2 series were just some nice Zen play too. Kind of may have overlooked him a bit in that one, but dude, yeah, just like on the Ryan doing so much on the Hanzo, getting pickoff after pickoff, just a constant threat. And they really had no real answer for him. I think that in the end, man, they stuck to some questionable stuff, like with the attack May, the attack Bastion for a bit too long. Pirate ship works when you have a ship. Otherwise, it's just pirates. And
well, I mean, we do have to put out here.
What's wrong with pirates, man?
Right at the end. Sunbutt Toast was on the Junkrat. He had Tyre, which could have been huge. He stayed forward a little bit too long, got killed by Tigray on the Hanzo, and that really didn't help them because they lost that ultimate that could have switched it, and obviously right at the late to drop down as Winston to touch, so they end up C9 in their play. What a way to go out though in the 4th in the final map there. So Kulture eSports, they take the 3-1 win here to go through to the semi-finals. Any final words from either of you about that match that we just seen? Obviously, all those maps that were played were very close. There was only little things that went wrong for each team to win.
I think Hollywood was a bit of a one-sided win vote for Kulture, but I think that you have to leave these subs in, to be honest, not going into the semifinals. I don't think you change anything up.
Well, we have to remember Kulture eSports, we mentioned at the start of the stream, for the viewers that was here. They also had a few sub-players in as well, because we know that one of their people was still trying to download the update, and someone else was busy today, I think, who couldn't make it. So, you know, to put in that kind of performance, to be that close, with a few substitute players in there who might have played over the long season, but aren't starters, for example. You mentioned about not changing up going into the semi-finals. Surely you'd be saying that starters will be coming up, and that probably only strengthen them as well as to go into the semi-finals now, would you reckon? Or would you stick to the subs that play today as a reward for winning the series the way that they did?
Yeah, man, I think that you have to go with what worked. You know, you had a big upset here today. Your subs come up big. You in the standings. So yeah, man, I think you keep the subs in. I think that is the right call, to be completely honest.
Right, so that is all for the stream for tonight for the American viewers, and this morning for me right now.
What time is it now for you, man?
I do apologise to everyone in chat who has been watching. If my casting has been driving you crazy because of this stuff.
No,
my words. It is currently 10 to 5 a.m. for me right now because I am in the UK. So I'm extremely tired, but I did as best as I could. So I do apologise for my casting being quite bad.
Stop talking. It's you talk more than like my ex-girlfriend. It's crazy.
Yeah, I gotta say, guys, huge hand to the two of you. I mean, I think we actually went silent, short of when my computer decided to crap out on us. You guys entertained the entire. I mean, we've been live now almost 2 hours. So kudos to you guys. Thank you for joining us, chat. Thanks for hanging out with us for the period of time. Kulture is gonna move on to the next round. So stick around. Make sure you're subscribed on Twitter, Instagram. You're in our Discord. That's where we're gonna be able to post all the information. Real quick before we sign off, Maza, I know you've got a couple of things going on in your life in the world of esports. So I don't know if you want to take a second and plug some of the different events you've got on your radar.
Yeah, so normally Mondays I do co-host the On the Flank podcast, formerly the Overwatch TMZ podcast. We've had the likes of Slasher and Samito and Frito and Volumel on there in the past, so that's pretty fun. I'm also going to be at the Dallas Fuel home event next week, so if you guys are going to be there, come say hi. I'll be wearing a vintage Envious jersey. Gotta rep old school Envy. So yeah, come say hi.
I was gonna say there's actually gonna be a bunch of people at that Dallas home event. So if and this is for anyone in chat or anyone in the CGL, if you're gonna be at that event, let us know, man. Yell at us. Ping me or Mazza. We'll make sure you meet up with the rest of the CGL crew that's going to that event. Should be a good time.
Can you guys wiggle me a ticket? Because I know they're sold out and all, but because you're kind of rubbing it in right now. Being a huge tennis Shaw fan, not being able to go for this weekend because the tickets are sold out, and both of you just casually talking away about how nice this weekend's going to be for you. Oh well, I'll get
the transatlantic flight, bro. We'll get you. We'll get you, man.
Yeah. Just don't video call me while you're over there, please. It might annoy me a little bit.
Fair.
But anyway, I'm gonna have to sign off because I want to go to bed because it's 10 to 5 for me.
Hey, appreciate you sticking around, Optimus. We do appreciate it, brother. Real quick, I want to run down the list. Lucibro, thanks for the sub, man. The subscriptions here on Twitch do help keep the lights on here at CGL. All that money goes right back into future prize pools or funding additional tournaments, so we do appreciate it. We are entirely self-funded and volunteer run here at the CGL, so thank you much. Enjoy those emotes, bud. So that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for us. Like, follow, subscribe to us on Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, etc. And I think that's gonna wrap it up for us. So thanks again and have a good night.
Peace.
Goodbye.